the Great Conjunction and the Age of Aquarius. Okay, that's what we're going to talk about today. Hello. I'm super excited about sharing this video with you because Aquarius is actually my sun sign. I know this energy really, really, really well. It was the energy that brought me to study astrology. Aquarius rules astrology when I was 15 years old. So I'm 43 now, and it's been many, many years that I have been researching this energy, experimenting with this energy, doing charts of other people with this energy, and it has been very enlightening as to what this energy actually is. And I want to share two things with you in this video today. One, the whole technical aspect of why this is the beginning of the Age of Aquarius, the Great Conjunction, and blah, 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 the numbers, the details. Okay, we'll talk about that first, and then we're going to talk about what the characteristics or like the feel for this energy is going to be. Okay, so let's start with the facts first. The Great Conjunction is the conjunction or unity, or these two planets are going to come together in the same sign between Saturn and Jupiter. So Saturn and Jupiter meet up in conjunctions and oppositions every 10 and 20 years. Okay, Saturn has a cycle throughout the entire zodiac, or makes its whole round around the sun in about 29.5 years or so, and Jupiter does so in about 12 years. Because of these, the shifts and changes that they affect happen on a social level. Okay, so like every decade or 2 decades or so. So if, for example, if you speak Spanish and have taken my course, or if you and I have done a chart reading for you together, you'll know that there's such a things as personal planets. So the planets that are the closest to the sun, that have the shortest orbit, that move the fastest throughout the zodiac: Mercury, Venus, Mars, and of course, if you're counting the sun as a star and the moon, of course, then you've got these as the fastest planets. These are called the personal planets. These are the ones that affect us on an individual level because we feel them really more strongly. Okay, they're quick movements. We can feel those. The moon moves really quickly. You know, it's got a 28-day cycle more or less, and so we're feeling that, and we're feeling these other things. It's a little bit different with Saturn and Jupiter. These closest to the sun planets, we call those the personal planets, but Saturn and Jupiter, then Saturn, we call those the social planets, because those are going to be felt as an impact more on a social level. After that, you've got Uranus and Neptune and Pluto, and those are felt on a generational level because their path or their journey around the sun, it takes so long that we feel it, generations and many years pass, and the shifts are felt in a more subtle way. Okay, so you got these shifts between these meetups and these oppositions between Saturn and Jupiter every 10 to 20 years, and that has been happening in the element of Earth. If you've seen my video Fundamentals of Astrology, that every sign has an element: fire, water, air, earth. So this has been taking place in this element of Earth, these conjunctions, for the last 200 years. Okay, this sort of meetup tends to happen between Saturn and Jupiter in a specific element for 200 years at a time. So it was Earth, and before that it was fire elements, fire signs, and before that it was the water signs, and all of this. Okay, so now we're going to step into a 200-year cycle where these planets are going to meet up in air signs. What are the air signs? Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. So these are the signs that are going to feel impacted the most in an activation kind of way. This conjunction that's going to happen on December 21st, Pacific time in the United States, 8:13 a.m. at 0 degrees, 28 minutes Aquarius. It's going to kick off officially, according to many astrologers, the Age of Aquarius. Okay, so not only do we have December 21st is of course the solstice, but we also have this cycle that is going to shift from 200 years of social focus on Earth matters, okay, Earth sign matters, which are more physical things, money, material stuff, into air matter. So we're going to talk about what that means in a second, okay? And the other thing is that this conjunction, unlike many other conjunctions, is taking place at 0 degrees. If you have delved deeper into astrology, you understand that degrees are very sort of a finer part of the astrological puzzle, okay? If you study degrees, you know that the 29th degree is the anaretic degree, the master degree, the degree that makes you sort of like have to master everything that a sign has to offer before you actually can, you know, feel at ease and step into the next sign evolutionarily. Signs are about 30 degrees, houses in the zodiac, right? You've got your chart wheel, each piece of the pie is a house, and therefore a specific sign as well, are also 30 degrees. So 0 to 30, 0 is the first degree, let's say, or the first moment that a sign steps into or expresses, a planet steps into or expresses a particular sign. And so this great conjunction on December 21st is not just happening between Saturn and Jupiter in some random degree of Aquarius. It's happening in the very first initial Kickstarter, restart, you know, brand new energy of 0 degrees. It's a big deal, okay? So this is definitely, in my view, the official kickoff. Of course, you know, entering and exiting eras, which the Age of Aquarius, the Age of Pisces eras last about 2,160 years. There are, you know, degrees of sort of like we stepped into it, but not really. This is the official stepping in, and let's stay there. Okay, that's how astrologers are seeing it. And so this is why it's really important for you to understand this energy and what you're going to be dealing with and what is available to you with this cosmic shift. Okay, so all right, we talked about this being the element air. So let's talk about what the element air brings about. Okay, air in astrology rules the mind. Okay, fire is action, earth is grounding and practicality, you know, more physical things, and water is emotions and feelings. Air is mental. And in the sign of Aquarius, we're talking about intellect. Okay, we're talking about electromagnetic field, focus on energy, a focus on where we've been focusing on physical stuff, okay, from before. Now there's a greater call to focus on the energy aspect of things. If you look at the sign Aquarius, it's these little squigglies, right? 1, 2 squigglies. A lot of people think Aquarius is a water sign because aqua, and the squigglies are probably waves. Well, they're not water waves. They are electricity waves. Aquarius rules electricity. It rules lightning. It rules electromagnetic fields, okay? It rules science. So we're going to see, because of this, a shift into everything that has to do with how do I manage my mind? How do I take more advantage of what it is to reprogram myself, to clear out what I call imposter content, which is limiting programming, limiting beliefs and limiting thoughts and all of this, okay? More of an emphasis on this. Let's look at it. I mean, right now we're at a time of a pandemic. We've been through quarantines. I don't know if you're still in quarantine. I know right now at the time of the recording of this video, I'm in Los Angeles, and we're again under a stay-at-home order. And so it is a time where a lot of our physical or space freedoms have been restricted. And so what do we have left? Well, we can travel here, can't we? We can go anywhere with our minds. And so the emphasis is going to be so much more on how can I use my mind for the best for me and the best for everybody else. Because we'll talk about this in a minute, but Aquarius, one of the characteristics of the sign is that it is the humanitarian, they're very, very focused on how to help the group, okay? So air sign, intellectual. Another thing is, as an air sign, Aquarius is very, very much interested in information, but not information for the sake of information like Gemini would be, okay? Gemini is like quick, fast bits and bytes of information. Aquarius is interested in knowledge with a capital K. So Aquarius is one of the most studious signs of the zodiac, and they study not because they're forced to study. They love to learn. They love to learn, and they love to know the latest and the greatest of whatever their particular interest might be. And especially, you know, all of the scientific part of the whole thing. And this is going to be a big focus as well in the coming years. What is it that you have as far as knowledge that can be used for either your work or your personal, development or the betterment of society? Okay, so knowledge with a capital K, taking courses, taking classes, learning about yourself. And we'll talk a little bit more about this when I talk about individuation. Is going to gain importance in the coming years. Okay, so if you want to be ahead of the curve, get in there already as far as self-knowledge, knowledge of things that I need to gain more expertise in, etc., etc. Okay, the other characteristic of a particular sign or an era is the what we call the quality or modality. Just like every sign has an element, it also has what we call a mode or a quality. And the three modes or qualities are cardinal, which is the signs that begin a season. Okay, so it's the cardinal is all about commencement, beginning, initiating. You've got fixed, which is all about concentration of that season. So it's like completion, concentration, finalizing stuff. Okay, and you've got mutable signs, which are the sort of the end of when a season is about to shift from one season into another. So it's shift and changing and adaptability and all this. Okay, we've just been in the sign of Capricorn with Saturn and Jupiter, along with Pluto in the sign of Capricorn, which is an earth sign, but it's also a cardinal sign. So we've seen a lot of beginnings. Hey, the start of the pandemic, not so fun. Hey, the start of you could be free again. No, you can't, right? So it's back and forth and back. Lots of trying to start things, and maybe a lot of us, needed to shift certain things. So we started a business or started certain things, and we haven't been able to really settle in or finalize things. Aquarius is a fixed sign. So we're shifting as a collective into energy of completion, energy of finalizing, having the ability or having the energy available to us to put sort of like a period at the end of whatever it is that phrase that characterizes our life. Okay, not the end of our life, but it's like the end of, I finally closed the cycle on this, I finally achieved this, I finally got to the top on that. Okay, and so that it's going to feel good, but the not so productive sort of factor when it comes to fixed is that you can be stubborn. Okay, these four fixed signs of the zodiac: Taurus, the most stubborn of them all; Aquarius, okay, which when you make up your mind on something, nobody can change your mind. You're like, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm doing. I know is the mantra or key phrase of Aquarians. Scorpio and Leo, okay, these are the stubborn signs of the zodiac. And so I would urge you to be cautious of when you are maybe making up your mind about something and sticking to that, even though there may be so much evidence to the contrary. Okay, so check when you're being stubborn versus when you're being perseverant. I think that's going to be a key thing to navigate during this Aquarian time, because there is that danger of stepping into a lower frequency of stubbornness, and what you want to do is navigate towards a higher frequency of, yes, I finish what I start. Yes, I see things to completion. Yes, I know what it is to arrive. Yes, I know what it is to persevere. I know what it is to have loyalty. I know what it is to stick through things that are worth it. Okay, not cul-de-sacs, okay, where you're going around, there's nowhere to really do anything, but goals that are productive for you to achieve and stick to. Okay, remember that Aquarius is a sign that focuses on the future. It is the sign that rules the future, because it's the sign that rules science. Okay, and so it's like, traveling into the future, that kind of thing, which of course we do with our minds. Anytime you're thinking about the future, you are doing time travel. Did you know that? And so find where you are going to be focusing your energy, okay? Not focusing our energy on being stubborn about something just for the sake of it, but really focusing on energy on the things where we need to really achieve completion and persevere, okay? So let's look at the general characteristics, besides the characteristics of Aquarius for being an air sign and for being a fixed sign. Aquarius is the humanitarian of the zodiac. Okay, it is the sign that is super, super committed, loyal, and focused on the betterment of society, the betterment of humanity, understanding that we're all brothers and sisters, understanding that we're all equal, understanding that we all should have equal opportunities to do whatever we want to do based on who we are uniquely. Okay, and here we come into another characteristic of Aquarius. Aquariuses are super, super, super in touch with who they are as unique individuals. If you're an Aquarius, you know what I'm talking about. If you're Sun in Aquarius, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Maybe Ascendant in Aquarius, maybe to a lighter degree. Or if you have heavy, heavy characteristics or a lot of your personal planets are in Aquarius, you know that you have this energy within you. So what is it that this era is going to allow us and ask us to do? One, it's going to ask you to identify what makes you you. So it's like, who am I? Who am I? What is my differential in the world? Okay, so if you are a business owner, you know that you offer a product or service, but you also know that you have to have a differential. Yeah, there may be many other people offering the same product or service that you do, but what makes you unique within your industry? Okay, this is sort of the process of Aquarius. You have to identify what your differential is, what your uniqueness is, who you really are. The birth chart reading, understanding your astrological birth chart is really useful in this process because it tells you things that maybe, you know, your parents didn't really nurture, so you kind of didn't really see them because they were a little bit hidden, okay? Or they weren't really brought up in you or accentuated in you because maybe they were different to what your parents expected of you or whatever, right? So the chart brings you back to that original design, that original essence that you as a spirit, before you came into this human body, you said, that's what I need in order to get done what I came to get done and to learn and to teach and to enjoy whatever this whole hologram is going to be at this time and space, okay? So the chart really helps, and you know that you can email me at maril@marilsalispaz.com and we can do your birth chart reading. I don't know how much longer I'll be doing one-on-one astro coaching birth chart reading sessions, and especially not at this price, so we shall see what happens. Changes and shifts are going to be happening fast for this Aquarian in 2021. I already feel it, okay? But email me now and let me know if you want to do a reading, okay? So anyway, it's to the point of individuation and of like uniqueness that sometimes Aquarians, you know, sort of fly the freak flag of weird. And that's a good thing, okay? I think a lot of us are afraid to say, look, this is 100% who I am. Because Capricorn, which is where Saturn and Jupiter have been, you know, for in the past, it's a sign of conform to what society needs of you. Conform to what society wants you to conform to. Everybody needs to be the same, sort of like fit into this mold, okay? And authority tells you what the mold is going to be. Aquarius says, what mold? I'm there to break the mold, okay? And so it brings out its own unique flavor, unique characteristics, its gifts, everything that it actually came as a spirit to bring, to experience. Of course, as spirits, we're all energy, we're all the same, we're all everything. But as humans, we're all different. And that is the main thing that I want you to take away from this video, okay? Because this is what's going to happen in this era of Aquarius, this age of Aquarius. The process itself is this. You're going to individuate, meaning you're going to find out everything that makes you unique. You're going to understand, accept, honor, know, express everything that makes you unique. And there are many ways to do this. A chart is only one of many, many, okay? And then you're going to do what Aquarius does best. You're going to bring that uniqueness and you're going to bring it to the community, to your group of friends, to the world, and you're going to collaborate and you're going to give, okay? Aquarius is the sign of community. It is the sign of the humanitarian and it's the sign that rules friendship. And so Aquarius is always going to be concerned with how am I supposed to collaborate with this group? However small or big the group may be, okay? It could be, you know, the entire world. How am I going to make my mark in the world by providing something that the world needs, okay? And making sure that I have a role, a productive role in this shift into this new era. But it's also within my group of friends, within my family, okay? But let's look at this in a very, very practical and very true way. When you are a baby, you're codependent. You're dependent, well, not codependent, well, you're dependent on your parents. Okay, let's put it like that. You depend on whoever is your caregiver. Hopefully it's your parents, but you depend on a caregiver for survival, right? You need food, you need shelter, you need temperature regulation, you need clothing, you need love, you need touch. It's proven that babies that don't have touch, those can, wither away and die, okay? So there are so many things that you need from others. You're dependent upon others. You grow up and you hopefully go through the individuation process and you become an independent individual. Aquarius is a sign of independence. If you know or are an Aquarius, you know that these people are very friendly, and by these people I mean myself, Sun in Aquarius, okay? Very friendly people, very nice and kind people, but they also need a lot of alone time. They need to do their own thing. They don't mind being alone and in their own company, and they enjoy it very much. And so very independent individuals. So we go from dependence into independence. That's the next step. Hopefully you're no longer financially dependent on your parents. You're no longer dependent on somebody to feed you or do your laundry or take care of the basic things that you need in order to be a human being that survives and thrives in this world. Okay, that's the individuation process. That is a process that needs to happen in this era of Aquarius for every single person. If you haven't done so, then it's asking you to really step into that energy, okay? Look into that. Look into everything that makes you you. Look into everything that you need in order to become an adult, self-sufficient individual. Fantastic. But then we're going to take that to the next and final level, which is interdependence. Aquarius takes that unique thing and then brings it to the team. Okay, because Aquarius is very conscious that it's really all about the team. There's this duality that you understand that in this life that we have in third dimension going through fourth and stepping into fifth, whatever it is that you might believe and where you might be at, we have duality, we have polarity. It's one of the characteristics of this whole thing, right? You've got men, you've got women, you've got up, you've got down, you've got hot, you've got cold. You've got, energy and matter, all this stuff. Okay, so you've got individuation, independence, okay? And then you have the group, and you've got the collaboration, and you've got the leader, and you've got the team. So in this area of Aquarius, you're going to have to go through this step first, and then you're going to have to go into this step, okay? And you're going to have to learn to navigate both of these, because it's not about getting lost in the group and not having that touch, being in touch with who you are as an individual and what makes you you and what it is that you need to be well and happy. But it's about how do I bring that and collaborate with everybody else, okay? Your circle of friends, your society, your culture, your planet, all of it, okay? And in this, I think it's going to become very important to really understand what your values are, because Aquarius is a sign that rules friendship. But in this time, your friendships are not going to be the friendships that you had when you were little. Your friendships are going to be the friends, what you're going to feel like seeking are the friends that are going to be sharing the same values as you. And many of us are going to be activated, especially if you are an Aquarian, or have heavy planets in Aquarius, you're going to be activated to really live out the frequency of the values of the Aquarian era, which is equality, brotherhood, it's freedom. Aquarius is a super independent sign. They love freedom. So if you don't have friends, and of course 100% humanitarianism. So if you don't have friends who really share these same values, you're going to have to shift your social circle. And that's okay, because you're going to find your tribe. Okay, that's going to be another thing that's going to be happening. Find your tribe according to these values that are very important for you, because that's what values are about. Okay, when I do this with my coachees in my 12-week coaching program, when we go through what your values are to determine what's what we're going to work on and stuff, it's really not about, a lot of people think values, okay, be a good person, be kind, family values, this and that. No, values in the way that I do the exercise is about what is important to you, what matters to you the most. We don't have, we used to have 24 hours in a day because of the tilt of the axis. Now we have 16 hours in a day, basically. That's why you feel like time is like flying by, and I don't know what happened. Today is Saturday, but or today is actually Friday, but today's Friday. I thought it was, Monday, but that was, a blink ago. So that's what's happening on an energy level, what's happening on a feeling level. And so because we have this amount of time, we have this lifetime, and we live in this particular space, you're going to need to prioritize. And that priority of how you're going to spend your time, your energy, your money, all your resources, it's going to depend on your values. And those values are what is most important to me. That's going to be very important in this coming era. That's going to be kicked off on the 21st of December at 0 degrees Aquarius, with Saturn and Jupiter making this conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius in 28 minutes at 8:13 Pacific time. You may or may not feel it, but you will definitely in the next years see the effect of all of this. What I encourage you to do is to become an active participator in all of this. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus, and it's the sign that marks before and after shifts. So it's also, this great conjunction is also known as the great change or the great shift. So change. If you don't have practices for resilience, if you are not highly adaptable, if you are resistant to change, you're not going to be very comfortable in this coming era. Okay, so you better take to heart all the stuff that I'm telling you in this video, so that you can be better equipped to deal with everything that is going to be shifting in your own personal life, because we're going to feel this, on the inside, these prompts. Those of us who are Aquarius are already feeling it. Saturn already stepped into the sign of Aquarius on the 17th of December. Jupiter is going to step into the sign, I think it's the 19th or 20th of December. So this whole week, we're feeling it. Okay, and right now, as I'm recording this, the moon is in the sign of Aquarius, so it's also an activator. So those of us who are Aquarians, or who are in the cross of Aquarius, Leo, Scorpio, Taurus, okay, those are the fixed sign cross, you're going to feel that energy, and it's not going to feel very comfortable, because shift never feels comfortable. Think about it. You're going from something familiar into something new. How is that comfortable? It's getting out of your comfort zone. It's a literal description of getting out of your comfort zone and stepping into something new, something uncertain. And that is never, ever an easy peasy thing. However, it's a necessary thing. So this is what we're going to be going through. And I hope that you are someone who is open to shift, open to change. And I hope that you're someone who initiates change too. Because if you are, just like Aquarius is a sign that rules future, it rules science. If you are ahead of the game and you're initiating shifts in your life, if you're initiating changes in your career, in your relationships, in new ways of thinking and doing things, then you're going to be super aligned with this energy. And you're not going to need that kick in the butt from this energy to be like, hey, why are you still like same old patterns as before, same old paradigms as before, same old groups as before, all the same. No, we're not in the same old energy. That was Capricorn energy. Okay, we're in the Aquarian energy of like new, based on these values, betterment for the world, what is your unique value proposition to yourself, blah blah blah, all this stuff that I have told you in this video. Okay, we can always check out where this energy falls exactly in your chart and what will be activated by doing an astro coaching session, birth chart reading. And I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be doing those, so if you are interested in doing that, please reach out to Maril at marilselispaz.com. And you can always also find me on Instagram. I've been doing a lot of tutorials, having a lot of fun in Instagram stories, and that's at marilselispaz. And I do some tutorials on how to find these specific transits in your own chart and all of that, and as well as put up like, calendars of what's going to be happening for the month, etc. So you find me there, and you can always ask me questions in the comments as well as on Instagram. Okay, many blessings. This is going to be great. It may not be comfortable. Okay, change never is, but it's necessary, like I said. Okay, so I wish you all the highest, best for you and your loved ones, and of course for the planet, because that's what this whole thing is about. Okay, I'll see you on the next video.